Hello and welcome back to another video. Today we're doing my nails and I'm showing you how I do my nails with my non-dominant hand. So yes, this entire video I'm using my left hand, aka my non-dominant hand, to do my right hand. There are a few tricks I use in this. I have been doing my own nails for years now, so I am kind of, I don't know, I think I've gotten pretty okay at it. When I was first starting to do my own nails and I was really struggling to use my left hand to do my nails, what I would do is I'd actually start using my left hand to do more things in life. So like if I was sweeping, if I was mopping, if I was painting, like that sort of thing, I would really try and use my left hand just so I became more comfortable with doing things with my left hand. And I don't know if that made a huge difference, but to me it feels like it did. So that's one thing I definitely recommend, using your left hand to do more things if possible. Now you can see kind of through this entire clip I've been balancing my right hand on my dust collector, and that plays a huge part too. So basically whenever I'm doing my dominant, is that right? Yeah, and whenever I'm doing my dominant hand, I have my arms resting on the edge of my table, and then usually my hands resting on something else. And by having anchors and like resting your arms and your hands, you're a lot less likely to be shaky. So you can see here, I'm using actually my left hand to move the file, but when I first started out doing my nails, I would move my right hand rather than move my left hand. So this has just come from me getting better at using my left hand to do things, as I feel fully comfortable using it as I would my right hand. But if there are tricks like moving your right hand to make it easier rather than moving your left hand, you feel free to do that. Is this making sense? As I'm saying it, I'm like, sounds very confusing. But you can kind of see here where I'm using the buffer. I'm moving my right hand quite a bit across the buffer, and that's just what I mean. So if you're more comfortable using your dominant hand, then move that and just hold the non-dominant hand still. Oh, Chipotle break. Pat ordered me Chipotle as I was doing my nails, which is very kind. So after a quick Chipotle break, I'm back into prepping my nails. So I removed my last set, leaving a bit of clear base, and then I kind of evened that out with a buffer, and I'm going through and pushing back my cuticles. Again, you can see my hands are really both resting on my, what's it called? Dust collector. So that is really stabilizing things. And you just have to make sure you're using really light pressure, especially when you're using your E-file with your non-dominant hand. I mean, I feel like your non-dominant hand is a lot more weak in comparison, so it is a lot easier to use really light pressure. But just use very, very gentle pressure and go around slowly. I think that's one key thing too, is like the speed at which you do your dominant hand's nails will just be a lot slower than when doing your non-dominant hand. So just going around and doing the prep, getting my cuticles all cleaned up. And I'll have everything linked down below as well. Using cuticle nippers can be a little bit scary when you're using your non-dominant hand. So if you're not comfortable with it, don't push yourself. Maybe build up to that slowly as you gain comfort. You can use things like E-file bits if you're comfortable using your E-file to kind of buff away skin. But I'm definitely a lot more comfortable now doing it. And same thing, I'm just balancing my arms to really steady myself, which makes a huge, huge difference. Just trimming my, there's dead skin underneath my nail from I've been intentionally keeping my nails short to shorten my nail bed a little bit, which seems ridiculous just because I feel like everyone's goal is a longer nail bed, but mine got so extended that it was starting to drive me nuts and I couldn't really have my nails super short. So that's what I was trimming there underneath the nails, the kind of the dead skin from the nail bed pushing itself back. And then I'm using my sanding band. I'm just going around the natural part of my nail. I'm going to do that on the 1 setting. It's recommended when you're working with the sanding band on your natural nail to be between 1 and 5. I do find the gel bottles e-file is kind of fast, so I usually just sit around the 1 mark. And I'm just lightly going over the natural part of the nail, and then I'm just buffing over top of the gel that's still on my nail to just even everything out. And so when people are using the e-file, lots of the time they switch the e-file to the opposite direction. So like when you're using your dominant hand, say you're right-handed, you're doing your left hand, you'll have it in forward. When you switch to do the other hand, lots of people will put it in reverse, but I still just run it in forward. I find I'm more comfortable with that direction and just making sure I'm using the e-file in that way. But again, you just have to figure out what feels comfortable for you, because there are lots of people who will buy, so some of like the removal bits, they are for left-handed or right-handed people, so you have to make sure you're buying the correct ones if you're going to run it in the opposite direction. But for me, yeah, like I said, I'm just more comfortable using it in the exact same direction. I also got these little like microfiber Q-tippy things to get the dust out of my sidewalls and stuff. I don't know how I feel about them. I feel like they leave a lot of little fibers behind, so don't love that. And I have like 4,000 of them now, because naturally they came in like a huge pack. I'm just going in with the Gel Bottles Clear Rubber Base as my base. And you can see now, again, I'm resting my hands on top of my lamp, which really, I can't stress enough how much easier that makes things. You definitely want to be anchoring your hands at all times possible. Like if you think about doing eyeliner as well, one of the key tricks that they always tell you when you're doing your like liquid eyeliner is to press your hand up maybe against like a mirror and really balance yourself out. And exact same thing for this, you really just want to make sure your hands are as balanced as possible, because that's going to take away a lot of the shakiness. And just, yeah, go nice and slow. A lot of the time too is if you, I mean, this is, I find for me, if I can keep my hands really close up to my face, I feel like that's helpful too. I don't know why. The closer to my face it feels like I'm able to see what's going on a little bit better and maybe able to be a bit more controlled. That's probably why my head is going in and out of the shot, because I'm trying to get closer to the nails. And also flash carrying, like make sure you're flash carrying your work as you go, just so that you can take your time throughout the other nails and not have to worry about the product slipping and sliding all over the place. So now I'm just going in with Builder Gel. Which one am I using? I think it's the fast version. So it's Izemi Builder, Resin 99.9 fast version. I am a brand ambassador at Sweetie Nail Supply, which is where I get my Izemi products. You can use code Rebecca for 10% off if you ever shop at Sweetie. They're great Korean-based products. So yeah, so basically I just applied a slip layer, and now I'm just taking a bead, and I'm not really doing a full walk down the nail as if I'm applying Builder. I'm just kind of like hovering a bead in the center, and then this product self-levels really beautifully, so I'm just kind of letting it do its thing, flipping my nail over to gain a bit of the apex, and just kind of touching things up. I did still have some base product on from the last set, so it's not like I need a full application. I'm almost doing just like more of a fill, but not super fill-like. It's more so just like trying to level out the surface and add a bit of extra gel. So I have that strength, so you'll see me do it again here. Just running it along, and then use the light of the line of the light to kind of see where the gel is and the evenness. So by using your lamp, if it is kind of in a straight line across your nail, it's a good way to see if the gel is level or not. So just repeating the same thing here. And then I'm flash carrying in between all of these as well. Izemi is really great because you only need a 30-second cure on it. So a 10-second flash cure is usually perfectly fine. Now I'm going in with my D-gel painting gel. We're getting into the design work now. So again, I'm really anchoring my hands on my lamp. And you can see the brush I'm using is a really long bristled brush, which is really helpful when it comes to like shakiness, because it'll absorb a lot of the shakiness. I think I'm wiping off what I just did, I can't tell. But one thing that I do like to do is, you can see I dip my brush with my right hand, and if you can do that and it's more comfortable for you, then by all means, and then do the painting with the left hand. So yeah, you can see the brush strokes really aren't very shaky, and they do come on pretty evenly, and that is because of the long bristled brush just absorbing kind of any movements. And this is a great tip even for if you're painting with your dominant hand. Using a longer bristled brush will really absorb any shakiness. So I'm just repeating the same on a few other nails. I'm doing like a little watercolor plaid situation. I just got these D-gels in as well. So this is the D-gel Ginny collab gel paint kit, which comes with, I believe, 14 different colors. And I'm really, really enjoying it. I know I've been talking about buying the D-gel paints for a really, really long time, and I feel like the Ginny collection had a really great assortment of colors. So I was super excited about that, and it came with black and white, so that was great. Sorry about my big hand, it's pretty huge. But yeah, so I'm just going through and I'm going to paint a plaid on all of these. And you can see as I've flipped my hand over and I'm doing these fingers, I'm still resting the back of my hand on the lamp. And what I've just done there is I'm kind of mapping out the plaid, so I have an idea as to where I want it to go, and then it's easier to get the line straight all the way across from side to side if you just kind of map out the center line first. And then you can go in like I am now and just grab the corners. And with this plaid, I'm not trying to be like super precise, because I am doing a watercolor plaid, so it's intentionally going to look a little bit abstracty, a little bit artistic. So I'm not too worried, but I would generally prefer a straight line. Now I'm going in with the more liquid ink, or art liquid. This is from the more second season. I'm just going to do a few layers over top of that. I've wiped off the nails again, so there's no tacky layer, and I'm just going over top using the brush. It is an air drying liquid, so you can layer it really nicely, and it creates such a beautiful watercolor effect. And so I'm just going back and forth over that, and then because it does build up as I'm going across and doing these cross stripes, the kind of cross section of the plaid is more opaque, which is generally what happens in plaid. So it lends itself really well to that. And same thing, my arms are balanced right on the edge of the table, keeping myself steady. And then just doing a little blobby at the tip of the nail there. And then I'm going to paint almost like a full coverage on that pinky there, leaving a little bit of gap around the edge. And then I'm grabbing my white painting gel, and I'm just going to do a little bow on my pinky. Doing detailed work, I will say, is a little bit harder when you're using your non-dominant hand, but it just comes with practice, honestly. I wish there were more tricks than just like keeping a balanced hand for that kind of thing, but it comes with practice, moving your hand around so you're easily accessing like kind of all angles. Yeah, and just working away at it. I mean, gel is amazing because you can wipe away things that you don't like even with this art gel, as long as you just use alcohol, you can wipe it away without disturbing the art ink. So that's super, super helpful. But yeah, like I said, I do think that having started doing things with my left hand just in life made a big difference in just kind of accessing that part of my mind. Because now I find I naturally have started doing some things with my left hand rather than my right. And the nice thing about this design is I was making it a little bit more sketchy and watercolory and, you know, not super precise, so it also lends well to using my non-dominant hand. And then I'm just going in with the, what's this called? Jinbei Crazy Top Thick Gel, doing a top coat layer of that, going over everything. Another tip I have is if you're doing your hands, doing a more simple design on the dominant hand when you're painting with your non-dominant hand. I often do that because I often don't match my hands completely. So for example, on my left hand there, I drew a heart and I wrote angel, really tiny. There'd be absolutely no way I'd want to willingly do that with my left hand. So I avoid it. And just simplify. That's another great tip. Just make your life a little bit easier. But here is the finished product. I think they turned out really cute and really fun. I hope you picked up some great tips on how to use your non-dominant hand. Let me know if you have any questions down below and I'll catch you in the next one.